Hey guys. Okay, this next experience I had on Vera Street, and it actually made the newspapers, not of me, but I'll explain, and made TV on the news, many news stations, and involves the police. But it wasn't about me, but I was involved in a weird way. I just picked it up. I think I felt it. But anyway, here it goes. So I wake up in the morning. I'm heading to work. It's 8 o'clock. Actually 7. I gotta be there for 8. I'm heading to work. It's like Monday morning or something. And I walk out the house, down the sidewalk, turn left down the alley. As soon as I turn left, boom! The ETs are hitting my chest. It's like a fist beaming me. And the ETs, and I'm like, holy shit. And as I get closer and closer to the coffee shop where I work, it's getting more and more and more and more intense. And I stopped outside the coffee shop, and I'm looking in the sky, and I don't see nothing, right? Nothing. And so I go to work, and the feeling leaves. And that was it. That was all it was. Next morning, I get up, walk outside, turn down the alley. As soon as I turn down the alley, boom, they're hitting me again. And I'm like, oh, just like yesterday. And as I get closer to work, it's more and more and more and more and more intense. I get to work. I see nothing in the sky. That's it. Next day, Wednesday, I get up in the morning at 8 o'clock, turn left, turn down the alley. As soon as I turn down the alley, boom, I'm like, Jesus Christ, it's happening again. And it's overpowering. Each day got more and more overpowering. So I go to work, and I have a coffee for half an hour before I actually go to work. So I get a coffee, I sit down at the bar up, looking at the front window on the street, and a friend of mine, he comes up, and he ain't spiritual much. He goes, what the hell's wrong with you? And I'm going, I've got problems, man. And he goes, what? And I go, you really want to know? He goes, yeah. He goes, okay, for the past 3 days, I tell him, the past 3 mornings, the same scenario happened. As soon as I hit the alleyway, the ETs hook up to me spiritually, and they're beaming me. And I get to work, and it's over. I don't understand what that means. And I'm looking, and he goes, right now, they're beaming me. And he's sitting beside me. I go, look right there. Right there in the sky. They're beaming the shit out of me right now. Right there in the sky. But there's nothing there in the sky. Now, I know they're cloaked or something, but what does this mean? What do they want me to do? Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. What is it I'm supposed to do? And I'm looking at him, right? And so, he goes, I don't know. I don't even believe in aliens, but whatever. I go, you don't believe in aliens? And he goes, nope. And I'm like, oh, dude, I can tell you some stories. And he goes, well, whatever. It's all good. I believe in spiritual stuff and ghosts and that, but I don't believe in aliens. And I'm like, okay. And so, anyway, well, that's my story. And it's driving me nuts. And I just want to answer for what it means. And he goes, and he said this to me, he goes, the bee only comes to the flower that's still, or something like that. I can't remember. The bee only comes to the flower. So he goes, you gotta wait for it. He goes, pretend you're the flower and you're waiting for your answer. So you just gotta wait for it. Be content and wait for it. And I'm like, hey, that sounds right. So I'm like, okay. So I went to work. Next day, as soon as I hit the alley, they're beaming me again. I'm like, holy Christ. So, and as I get to work, it's really intense. I do the same thing. I walk in, I get my coffee, I sit down at the bar. And I open up the... No. I'm sitting there having a coffee. And all of a sudden my friend, the guy I was talking to yesterday, he comes, and he's on the sidewalk, and I can see him. He comes around the corner on the sidewalk, and he's looking at me, and I'm like, hey, out of the window. And he's like, right, he's freaking out. He goes, He runs up and he goes, "You son of a bitch, you're freaking me out." And I go, what? He goes, have you watched the news this morning? I go, no, I don't really watch TV. And he goes, you read the newspaper? And he goes, no. And he goes, you won't believe what's going on. And he goes, there's UFOs being sighted all over Michigan and Windsor and Kent County or Essex County. It's the county of Windsor, Southern Ontario, and Michigan and Detroit and all that. UFOs are being sighted everywhere last night. And I couldn't stop thinking about you. He goes, I was freaking out. And he goes, because I had that conversation with you yesterday. And I'm like, really? And he goes, yeah. He grabbed the newspaper. And we get all the newspapers, Windsor Star, the 3 Detroit papers. And so he goes, look. And he opened it up. Bam. UFOs sighted in Windsor. Bam. And UFOs sighted in Michigan. And the one that was really crazy was there was an insert and it was about UFOs. And no, that was a different day. Sorry. Anyway, these UFOs from the same time period as this one, this UFO, whatever was going on, I was feeling it. I read it. These people, it was in Michigan, and it was in also MUFON. MUFON people did a big thing about it, and it was on TV. I remember seeing it, and it was directly that day that it happened. That was that little weekend where I was feeling the ETs. What happened was, I'll just mention it, maybe you remember it or not. These people that lived out in the middle of nowhere alongside Lake Michigan, somewhere out that way, people saw this UFO over their house. They called the cops, and the cops came. The cops saw the UFO. Then the UFO started flying, and I think the cops chased the UFO. And it was there was that. That was the main one that the cops saw it, and they picked it up on radar also. This UFO, and that was not. I think that was the day before. I'm talking to my buddy that night. Then there was one scene in Essex County by some people on these 3 different nights. There was a scene in Windsor. There was a scene in over Detroit. So it was a big UFO flap for these 3-day period. And I go, well, yeah. I go, you must be the bee that come to give me the answer. He goes, holy shit, right? So anyway, he laughed about that. I go, I never thought you'd be coming to give me the answer. He goes, weird, eh? He's sort of like the messenger. He goes, and I go, the same thing happened today. They're still there. They're still beaming me right now. They're up there in the sky and they're beaming me. And I don't understand it. But I got my answer, so that's cool. Nothing happened to me, personally, other than they were beaming, like, spiritually hooking up to me. Maybe they were trying to tell me something I couldn't interpret it. I think that's when I've been. But anyway, nevertheless, that was another experience, and it added up to MUFON. MUFON did it. The cops got it, and the UFO was recorded on. The cops called the airport and the airport said, yeah, we're watching it, and so if everybody remembers that case, that was the one I'm talking about. So that happened. And that's another little experience I had on Vera. There was another one I wanted to get off right quick, but I can't remember. It was a little one. I should write these down, eh? Let's remember them. I'm trying to remember it, but I don't remember it. So, if I remember it, I'll post it. This is just a quick little video. I thought it would be longer. But anyway, yeah, the next day I came out. I turned into the alley, and I felt them. It wasn't as intense, though, so it must have been over. But they were still beaming me, but it wasn't as intense like it was. So, and then that weekend, I went and had a coffee, sat down, and in the Detroit paper, they did a write-up in an insert, UFOs over Detroit and Michigan or something, over Michigan. And it was that story about the the house, the police, and they saw it on the radar. That was the story, and it was about the last weekend, about what everybody saw. So what they did was Detroit paper over UFO sightings that everybody had. They collected all the information and made a little insert in the paper, and I thought that was pretty cool. I still got it. I had it. I think I got it. Just gotta look for it, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, I had it up to this date, and if I ever find it, maybe I'll post it. I don't know. But it's all true. I'm not making this shit up. So that's that. Another little UFO experience I had. Alright, if I remember the other one, I'll post it. I'm going to make more. I had a lot more experiences on Vera, but this is just the initial 3 or 4 I had. Okay, later guys.